Hey guys, welcome to the Scholar Online YouTube channel, the channel that is all about learning. In this channel, I make a lot of videos on how to create your own website, how to create your own e-commerce or WooCommerce website and start making money online by selling products online. If you're new to this channel, please remember to hit the subscribe button. You can find it at the bottom of the video and just hit subscribe. Please like this video if you like my content, and remember to leave me a comment below. Talk to me, let me know what you like about the videos, what you don't like about the videos, what I can do to improve on these videos. And if you're new to the channel as well, if you go to the description, there is video timestamps available for you if you want to jump ahead to certain sections of the video. If you don't want to watch the entire video, please feel free to utilize those video timestamps and follow us on our social media channels. We've got a Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram page, and let's start learning. Okay, guys, we've done a lot of work building our e-commerce store. I mean, we've come a long way from the first day that we created this, e-commerce website. If you followed along with us, we would had a lot of videos in this series. And in this last video, I'm going to tie everything together and sort of like put all the pieces of the puzzle into one big picture so that you can see how everything fits together. Once you've completed building your e-commerce store, you need to start driving traffic to it. You need to get people to start visiting your store. And I'm going to show you how the social media fits in with the paid traffic and how that fits in with the organic traffic, and where you want to start and where you want to end up, and what are the best practices. I'm even going to share a link of some cheat sheet and a couple of things that you can do to get your SEO right so that you can get your organic traffic to your website right. So in the first part of the video, I'll be discussing comparing the different traffic drivers to your website, comparing social media to paid, to organic, where you want to start, where you want to end up. And in the last part of the video, I'm going to go in depth into a search engine optimization and how to get search engine optimization right for your e-commerce store so that you can start driving up your organic traffic so that people can find your website naturally when they are Googling for watches. And what's amazing about search engine traffic is that you don't have to pay for it anymore. And once you do it right, it's always going to be done. I made the illustration that if visitors to your website was like a golden egg, we're always looking for that golden egg. That is your money. We're here to make money online. So people visiting your website are going to buy from it, and that's the golden egg that you want. Search engine optimization is the golden goose that lays the golden egg. If you can get your search engine optimization right, you will have a nice big fat golden goose that will be laying you golden eggs for as long as you're riding your website. Paid traffic will be like you going to the shop and paying for a golden egg every day. Okay, social media will be like you cooking the golden egg in your kitchen every day. It takes a lot of effort, but SEO is like you building and cultivating that golden goose from young and growing it and making it a nice big golden goose, and then it just sits there and just lays you golden eggs forever. So guys, watch all the way until the end. There's some nice tips. I mean, some of the things I'm sharing with you here, you're gonna pay a lot of money for consultants and agency to do these things for you, but I'm here on Scholar Online sharing them with you for free. So guys, keep watching, watch until the end, and don't forget to leave comments below. Let me know if you're struggling with some sections, if you don't understand something. I'm here to help you guys, and let's keep growing. And I always tell my clients, it doesn't matter whether you're selling balloons, or you're selling watches, or you are selling, cars. Whatever it is you're selling, there is a market for it. There's someone out there who's looking to buy balloons for a birthday party. There's someone out there who's looking to buy a car. There's someone out there who's looking to buy makeup. There is always a market for anything you can think of selling. The key is to put your business in front of the right client who's going to buy from it. So whatever you are selling, you have to sell it to the right people. And that's how you become successful in e-commerce. So let's get started. The first, most obvious way to drive e-commerce traffic is social media. And this is the easiest one to do, and most people should start here. If you have an e-commerce store, you need to have e-commerce social media platform accounts running. For example, You need to have a Facebook account, you need to have an Instagram account, and you need to have a Twitter account. If you have been following with us in these tutorials that we've been doing, you would have already a Facebook account, at least because we've built a Facebook store that's connected to an Instagram store that's connected to our WooCommerce store. In our previous videos, check out the links in the description below. You should already have a Facebook and an Instagram account. That's the absolute basic. But what about Twitter? Do not forget Twitter. Twitter has a whole lot of traffic. In fact, it has more traffic than Facebook and Instagram. So I highly recommend you have an account at least on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And there's a video that we also did in the past where I told you how to automate your social media. You need to have a look at that video, because once you have your social media, you don't have time to, on a daily basis, make sure that you're posting new engaging articles. So you have two options. You're either going to hire a social media marketing agent who's going to charge you an arm and a leg, and we are a channel that is showing you how to do things yourself. We're a DIY channel, and there are shortcuts and how you can do things yourself. So for social media, I highly recommend go and have a look at that video on automating your social media, because you are going to need to do this for your e-commerce store. There's plugins you can install, but some of them are paid. But if you watch that video, you can at least use later to start automating Instagram posts on a regular basis and start getting social media traffic engagement, because as you post items on social media, that's how you draw traffic to your website. So people that are just browsing their Instagram, they come across your hashtag, maybe hashtag watches, amazing watches. They're like, oh, I love this watch. And then they're going to click on your shop, and they're going to click on your link, and then it's going to drive them to your website. That's how you drive social media traffic. That's how you drive traffic to your website using social media. And I think maybe we will do in the future a more in-depth video and look at all the options available and how you can actually automate your social media. But that's number one. Number two is paid traffic. What is paid traffic? Paid traffic is when you do like what we call Google ads, okay? What you do Google ads, and you create a Google ad and you pay for it, and then Google will show your items at the top. And if you look at the previous video that we did already, we've already covered this at the Google merchant video and the Facebook shop video using and creating a Facebook ad video. So we've already done in this channel of ours how to do this paid traffic to your e-commerce store. So look at those previous videos and pay for traffic. So you're basically paying Google and paying Facebook to say, you know what, hey, show my products to people and I'll pay you for it, then people will come to your store based on that. Now, there's a problem with these two traffic and with these two sort of channels of driving traffic. The first one, if it's not obvious yet, but one of the main challenges with trying to depend on social media to drive your traffic is that you can only reach as many people as you have access to on social media. Okay, so if I have a social media account and I have 100 followers, every time I post, I'm only reaching 100 followers, and so I have to grow my social media account, and I can only reach as many people as I have following on me on social media. So when you're starting from scratch, you always start small and you're going to grow as more and more people follow you. But I will give you some nice tips in the next videos that I'll do, how to grow your traffic, how to go from 0 to 1,000 followers in just a month. I'll show you how to do those kind of things. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of effort. Sometimes you got to hire people. You got to do a lot. So this has a lot of sort of upfront work that you must do to get this done, but it's necessary. And if you don't have the time to do this, hire a freelancer, okay? Hire somebody to do this for you. Social media marketing companies can cost a lot of money, okay? But if you go to, companies like Upwork, and I love to work with Fiverr, okay? You can go to companies like Fiverr, and you can just search on Fiverr for social media management people. You can get people to do this for you for, I don't know, 100, 200 rands a month. So you either do that, pay for that, or you do it yourself, and I'll do videos show you how to do it yourself. The challenge with the paid traffic as well is you are only going to get as much traffic as you pay for. And Google and Facebook are very good at rationing you. Okay, so they will ration you. So if you pay 100 rand a day, maybe you're gonna get only I don't know, 20, 30 people visiting your website from that. And from 20, 30 people, maybe you're going to get 2 or 3 people that buy every week. Okay. And if you consistently do it, you will get only that, so they're rationing. So your business will only grow as far as you can afford to pay for the advertising. So it's a limited way of doing things, and it depends on your budget. And if you don't have a lot of money, you're not going to be able to pay for a lot of traffic. And in the beginning, this can get very expensive. Okay. So a paid traffic is sort of limited in the sense of your budget. Your budget is the limit. So it doesn't even matter if the search traffic for what you're selling is high, you're only going to get as much as what you pay for. And the second problem with paid traffic as well is what I call the law of diminishing returns. Okay? Look this up in economics, and if you studied this, you would understand what this means. This means over time, with paid traffic, you're always going to get less and less for your buck. So if, for example, when I started with one of my other online stores, I used to pay 100 rands a day, and I used to make maybe 4 or 5 sales a week from that. Okay. But over time, then people realize, hey, this is a good business. So another person comes and starts the same store, right? And pays Google for traffic 100 rand a day, but they decide to bid more cost per click. So they bid to Google more. So for example, they say to Google, you know what? I'll pay you 2 rand for a click. That means that I used to pay 1 rand for a click. The next competitor pays 2 rand for a click. I'm no longer going to get impressions on my adverts because the competition has gone up. So the more people that enter the industry with paid traffic, the more the competition. So there was a time when you could get clicks for less than a rand, even a couple of cents. But now you can't anymore because there's more people in the industry, and you need to pay more and more. So the more online store grows and businesses grow, even if you were selling a niche that was unique, over time people are going to figure it out and they're going to go into that niche. And you're going to have the law of diminishing returns. You're going to have to pay more and more for the same amount of traffic. And you're going to get to a point where it's no longer profitable. And there are businesses right now that even if you started that business today, right, you would not be able to pay enough for you to be profitable for driving Google traffic. So the competition on the Google ad can be more than the returns you're going to get. And you have to do your keyword research at the beginning before you start an e-commerce store to figure out if or not you can advertise. I'll give you an example. I did e-commerce store to sell, like if you want to sell lipstick, for example, or nail products, right? And the cost per click was low, and I could run adverts there and still make a profit, right? And then somebody else comes and they want to sell cell phones, right? The competition on cell phones is much, much higher. I'm not going to be able to get away with the same advertising budget because I'm competing with Apple and I'm competing with Macro for the same advertising space. I want to sell cell phones. Macro is paying 60 rands per click for cell phones, and you cannot afford to pay 60 rands per click. If you pay 60 rands per click with your small business, you're not going to make a profit when you're starting out. So paid advertising has those challenges. Before you get started, it might not even work for your niche because maybe the competition is already too high. Okay, and even if it works, it's not going to work forever because over time, people will figure out, oh, this person is making money, and they'll go into that industry and they will outbid you, and then you will be getting less and less returns. So these two, this one is just a lot of work. This one is gonna get you less and less returns over time. Now I'm gonna talk about organic traffic. Organic traffic is the best way to maintain a sustainable business and sustainable traffic into your online store over time. So what is organic traffic? Organic traffic is it's the same as paid traffic without paying for it. So paid traffic, what you do with paid traffic is that you pay Google to list your listing at the top. But with organic traffic, your listing will be at the top naturally. So the Google search engine will pick your website and list it at the top every time someone searches for a watch. So if you if you got your organic traffic done well, it means that people that are searching for certain things that you're selling, like watches in Johannesburg, for example, your website will appear at the top every time, and people will click on it naturally because that's what Google shows them, and you didn't pay Google for it because it's organic traffic. Let me show you. If you go to Google and let's just search for beautiful watches in Johannesburg. Most people, this is something typical people would search for, right? If you look here, beautiful watches in Johannesburg, what comes up here? The first thing that comes up is this, right? There's my Light in the Box. Oh no, this is Light in the Box. This is not my watch. Okay, so Light in the Box sells the exact same watch I sell. They're drop shipping it from the same place I'm drop shipping it. You can see the image is exactly the same. But this is a Google Shopping, Google Merchant ads campaign. I've shown you how to do this in the previous video. If you do this for your store, when someone searches beautiful watches in Johannesburg, your products will appear like this, right? Like the watches I'm selling, this watch I'm selling is also appearing here. So there's somebody else who's selling it. Clearly, they're drop shipping it from the same place I'm drop shipping it from, right? Then, so this is Google Merchant traffic. Over here is paid search traffic, okay? This is when you go and create a Google search campaign and you pay for it. This is similar to this, but this is shopping paid traffic and this is search paid traffic, okay? This is, and you can see an ad next to it. It means this company paid Google to show their advert at the top, right? This is where you're going to compete for paying, and this is where I explain to you that sometimes someone can outbid you and then blah, blah, blah. This is where you're going to appear, all right? Over here, the companies that appear here, this is Google My Business, right? So Google My Business is like, and I've done a video on it as well. You can have a look, into my channel videos. You need to claim your Google My Business account. And if you do Google My Business well, you actually appear right at the top without paid traffic. So Google My Business is really good for, SEO and appearing at the top of search engine without having to pay for it. You just have to claim your Google My Business listing and keep it up to date, get the map, get some reviews, and just like that, your business is going to appear on Google My Business. And so this is Google My Business. Underneath Google My Business, this company, topwatch.co.za, this is organic listing, or this is good SEO. This means this company is well optimized for SEO. Topwatch.co.za, Watchfinder, Edgar's, these companies. So this is where you will appear if you do good SEO to get organic traffic. Your listing, when someone searches for something specific, will be here. But as you can see, the people that pay for advertising appear on top of you. The people that pay for Google Shopping appear on top of you. Even Google My Business appears on top of you. You appear after all those things. But you're still going to get a lot of clicks compared to someone who does not appear at all. So over time, what you want to do is you need to do good social media and you need to pay for traffic, but you need to work on this at the same time. A lot of mistake that businesses make when they get started is they only focus on paid traffic and social media, and they overlook organic traffic because they think, oh no, we're just going to pay for traffic. But even though you do this and you do that, you also have to do this because organic traffic is the most sustainable way, and it's not paid for. It's just a couple of tweaks you have to do on your website to get it optimized for search engine. And this is what we call SEO, search engine optimization. You optimize it for the search engine so that the search engines like you. They like you so much that when somebody Googles for watches in Johannesburg, they're like, yes, Mugel Watches, that's the company that does watches in Johannesburg, and you appear at the top of it. So you got to be friendly with the search, and you got to be friendly with Google, and you're going to be at the top. And in some niches, like I've searched for beautiful watches there, I'm going to search for something else. Like I've done this lipstick, okay, for sale. Okay, let's just search for that, right? So if you do lipstick for sale, you get the same thing. Your Google, merchant, your Google My Business, and then this is all the organic, discount, whatever, take a lot, and all of these things. So What you want is, to be here over time and for your business to show up when people are searching for things like that. Okay. Now, let's go into just a summary. This is not an in-depth tutorial on SEO, but I'm going to give you like a cheat sheet. Okay. I'm going to give you like the top things, checklist, top things that you've got to do to get your SEO properly. I'm not training you to be an SEO expert. You're gonna maybe need to hire one. But if you are a DIY person and you're watching this channel to learn some tricks and tips, okay, I'm gonna give you just the top things. If you do these things, you can list right here without having to hire an SEO expert, because SEO is not rocket science. SEO is actually simpler than it looks. Okay, you just have to know what you're doing. Okay, so let's get started. How to rank on Google like a pro. Okay, the very first thing this one is the basic. You've gotta make sure your site is indexed. And there's many people that index sites like Bing and but we're working with Google, so I'm just gonna show you the Google one. Okay. And there's a quick way you can check that, okay? So just open a brand new window, all right? And go and get your URL, all right? Copy your URL and go to to a brand new window, and just click, go to Google first of all, okay? So go to Google, the Google website, okay? Like you're searching for your site. On the Google website, just type site, SITE, exclamation, and then like put in your URL, okay? And just go enter, right? If your site is indexed, you will see it there. It will appear. If your site is not indexed, this will be blank. So this is a Google search only for your website, not for anything else. And everywhere your website appears. So if your site is indexed, if you do this site, and your URL, you will see it. And there are some sites that are not indexed, and if you do this, you see nothing. It says, oh, we have no records on you. So the first time you just do this, and now you can see my Kingdom Network is indexed. Obviously, it would be indexed because I've got a Google Merchant account. I've already gone through a lot of things. But if you followed my process and you followed all the videos I've done with building this website, your website would be indexed. Once your website is indexed, what you need to do is you need to go to your back end, all right? And you need to install the SEO plugin, Yoast SEO plugin, all right? Once you've installed the Yoast SEO plugin, you can then come to the, your Yoast SEO plugin will create for you a sitemap and a robots.txt file, right? And your sitemap is going to be at this location. Your URL /sitemap .xml, right? Just like this, right? So you need to come here and you need to copy this URL, right? I'm gonna click the copy button, and you need to submit this URL to Google. So if your website was not indexed, you need to do this to get it indexed. But if it was indexed anyway, you still need to do this because you are showing Google all the sort of the things on your website that you want Google to see. Okay, so you copy this link, the sitemap page. You go to a new Google page. You search for Google Search Console, right? Google Search Console, and the first one that appears is the console tool. You click on that. The first time you will need to create an account if you've never been here before. Right? You're going to need to create an account, Google Search Console, create an account. And after you create an account, they will ask you to verify ownership. And there's different ways of verifying ownership. I think I've covered this in one of my videos in the past. You can always select the header, or you can select to do it in your DNS records. If you're not sure, please contact your web developer, or, send me an email. I can help you. Then once you verified ownership, then you're going to be able to manage the site. Once you have managed the site, you'll have overview, performance, all sorts of things, right? You need to go to sitemaps, and you need to go over here and enter that URL, my Kingdom Network, sitemaps.xml, and submit. Okay, I'm not going to do this because this is the site for Scholar Online, and I've already submitted the sitemap for it. And once you submit it, it will say success, discovered URLs, whatever. This is all you need to do to make sure that your sitemap is regularly indexed by Google, so that Google has your website in their records. So this is the absolute first step. The site index, it's like submitting your website to Google and saying, this is my website, okay? And please index it if you have not indexed it yet. But this is my sitemap showing you all the URLs. So on a regular basis, when you are doing your Google crawling, make sure you crawl all my URLs, because what Google does is it crawls everyone's websites on the World Wide Web, right? And then it stores all that information in its servers. When I go to Google for something, and I Google beautiful watches in Johannesburg, Google does not start to look for all the websites that have watches. No, Google already has a database that it has already stored with all the information that it indexes on a regular basis. And it ranks. So it already stored all that information. It has already ranked all that information. It already knows what the best websites in Johannesburg are. By the time you Google this, it just shows you that information. That's why it can do it in 0.66 seconds, because that information is already stored in a database somewhere in a Google server. So the index, what site indexing does, it's submitting that information to Google the first time, so that at least Google includes your website in its database. But the first time you submit your index, and if you're a brand new website, even though Google will index it, it's going to rank it right at the bottom. So everyone that sells watches, clicks, blah, 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 if you look here, all these people that are indexed top watch, Watchfinder, Edgar's, yours is going to be on page 100 of the Google search. You can see there's like page 1 up to page 10, up to page 1,000. I don't know how many pages there are, but I think it shows you there 8 million results, right? So the first time you submit your index as a brand new website, you are going to be number 8 million of the result. So nobody is going to find you anyway, whether you're indexed or not. So part of SEO is not just getting indexed, it's how to go from number 8 million in the list to number 1. And that is a practice of good SEO, how to make Google show your website first instead of your competitor's website and all the blogs and everything on watches until they're showing yours at number 8 million, right? So I'm going to give you a nice big checklist. So site index, this is just the basic. This is not SEO. This is just to get your bases covered. You are at least indexed on Google, okay? That's the first thing you do. Number 2, you've got to make your website mobile responsive, okay? If you followed my tutorials, your website is going to be mobile responsive, because I've used only themes and foundation that's mobile responsive. So if you're using a developer or somebody else and they build a website and then you open that website on a mobile device, you can't see it, some text is out the window, Google won't even index you, right? So you've got to have a mobile responsive website. That's very, very important, okay? The next thing you need to do is what we call on-page SEO. On-page SEO is you optimize your page on the page for SEO. And I've covered a little bit of this when I did that video on how to write a product page for SEO. So if you haven't looked at it, have a look, because I'm not going to cover this in this video. I'm not going to go into a lot of details. But in that video, I go into a lot of details, especially how to do keyword research and how to find the right keyword, because there's a lot of things that go into on-page. Okay, the first thing is you got to do keyword research. You got to decide what keyword you want to rank for. So in this specific case, somebody has searched beautiful watches in Johannesburg, right? How do you want people to find you? What typically do people put on the Google search bar when they search? And then you need to use a Google keyword tool to figure out what is the competition of that keyword. So this is where the competition comes in. It comes in into the advertising thing, but it also comes into SEO. Because if there's too much competition, you might not get ranked, or you might get ranked low. Even if you've done your SEO page properly, they're going to compare you to your competitor. And if you have too many competitors, you have too many people you're competing for that keyword. So when you do keyword research, you want to find the perfect keyword that has little competition, but good search volume. Okay, so have a look at that video that I've done on how to write a product page for SEO, and you can utilize the same principle for your home page, your whatever. You must do this for all the pages. So if you come to our back end, like this is our home page, right? Like if you go to all our pages here, um, you've got about, blog, checkout. You need to do this SEO for all the pages, right? More importantly, the home page. But if you don't do it for the home page, you gotta do it for all the pages as well, right? So and just to give you a nice summary, make sure your SEO is green, your whatever is green, and the SEO tool, Yoast SEO that I told you about that you need to install, will give you a nice checklist. If you go to the bottom there, it will tell you, transition word. If you go to SEO, it will tell you what you're doing wrong, okay? Like if you open this, it will tell you no outbound links, key phrase length, image attributes, SEO title, internal links, like it will give you the kind of things that you want to do. But nonetheless, I will also give you a nice checklist, cheat sheet of if you can check all those things, you'll be fine, right? But basically, on-page SEO is the next most important thing, right? So site index, on-page SEO using the Yoast helper, you've got to do all of this. Now, before you even get here, if you do this right, page speed is crucial, okay? And never overlook this. Page speed is how fast your page loads. If you look at our Google search here, Google tells us that they loaded this in 0.66 seconds. And Google takes very important note of a page speed, right? So I'm going to quickly just search for page speed insights, okay? And go and have a look at this website here. This is the Google official page speed checker, okay? You need to come and put in your URL here and analyze the page speed, and you gotta get your page speed to less than 4 or 5 seconds, okay? The faster the better. If you can get 1 or 2 seconds, boom, the faster the better. I did a video, I think last week as well, on page speed where we compared a lot of themes for page speed. There is a method to my madness in this channel, okay? There's a reason why I do the videos that I do. And sometimes people look at this and they're like, oh, this is a page speed whatever video. This is boring. Like it probably had the least views out of a lot of the videos that I do because people think, no, we're not developers, we don't care about this. But here I'm now putting it all together and showing you how it all comes together. There's a method to my madness, and there's a reason why I do the videos that I've done. If you reach this point, you need to have watched all the videos I've got on my channel because each and every one of that video was looking at a different aspect. And this is sort of like the top level video that brings it all together, right? Have a look at that page speed video because you're going to learn a little bit about how to choose the right theme for page speed and how to test for page speed. You've got to get your page speed top right. And if your page speed is not good and you don't know what to do and you're not a developer, you can go to Fiverr, right? Go to Fiverr and just search for, page speed, a WordPress, right? Something like that. And you will see a lot of people that do page speed, right? Like they charge 85 rands. Okay, this is expensive, like 900 rands. I mean, I've used guys here that charge 200-300 rands, and they're very good. Like I've used this guy, for example, Dev Optimized. I've used him for one of my WordPress websites. I'm a developer myself, but sometimes I just want somebody else to do something quickly because I'm busy with other things. And you just come here and click on the person, and they'll use their Pro Tools which they've bought because some of the things you need Pro Tools. And you don't want to buy all the Pro Tools for everything all the time. And you can just come here and hire this person, pay them 85 rands, 100 rands, and they'll get your page speed top notch, 100%, right? And you've got to get this right. And if you do this, you do the site index, you do the on-page SEO, you are 20% done for SEO. This is the 20% of good SEO. If in the 80-20 rule, this is the 20%. It's the foundation. It's the basics, right? The 80%, the most important thing, is the backlinks. And I'll tell you why, right? Out of this Google search, you've got 8 million results, 4 beautiful watches in Johannesburg. I can assure you, everyone knows on-page SEO, you've got a lot of people selling watches. So even if you do all of this, maybe you're going to be number 100 on the list. Maybe you've moved from number 8 million to number 100 because maybe the other people don't even have on pages. You're in their page loads really, really slow. You are now number 100, not number 8 million. How do you move to number 100, from number 100 to number 1? How do you move to the very top? Because we all know people do not go past the first page of Google. 80% of people never go past the first page of a Google search. The other 20% maybe go to the second page of a Google search. So if you don't appear on the first page, if you're not in the top 10 of your keyword, nobody's going to see you, right? So what moves you from number 100 to number 1 is the backlinks. Backlinks is how many other websites on the internet refer to your website, basically. It's a measure of how important you are. So out of the top 1 million people that are talking about watches, Google is going to say this 8 million websites are all selling watches. How am I going to show to people that are searching about watches the best website, right? Okay, they all have good SEO, they are all loading fast, they are all indexed, they all have on page, it's all done, but maybe now I'm left with 100. Out of these 100 that all have page speed, site index, on page, how do I show the top one to people? You're right? And then it becomes a competition of you and your competitor. How does Google show your website and not your competitor's website on the first page? It's going to look at, between the two of you, which one is most sort of cited or most sort of linked on the internet. And the number of links talk about how important you are. So if you're an important website about watches, other people are going to link you, like when I write a blog about watches, I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm writing about nice, beautiful watches, the top watches in Joburg. You know what? Check out this website, Mugel Watches, boom. I'm going to link it. So Google actually checks all of that in the background, and it checks, okay, 100 blogs have referred to your website. 1,000 people on their social media have referred to your website. 10,000 education websites, blah, blah, have referred to your website. So your website must be pretty important. So we're going to link it top because it's a pretty important website. That's how you go from number 100 to number 1. Number 2 is that you are noticed as an important website, and you've got to build the backlinks. Okay? What's important about backlinks? The people that are referring you cannot be, like, you cannot just write your own blog and refer yourself. Yes, you can do that, it's good, but it's not going to get you to number 1. You want high authority. We call them high DA. DA stands for high domain authority, okay? Domain authority. So a website like News24, for example, right? Let's Google domain authority, right? Let's Google domain authority, right? So I'm gonna go to this one, which is at the top of the whatever. Okay, Link Explorer. Let's use the one from more. Okay, so let's find a website like News24. Okay, News24. Right, News24. I'm gonna click on that. Is the first one that appears. I'm gonna copy that URL and I'm gonna put it on this Moz domain checker URL. Okay, and I'm gonna just run a test to. Oh no, I can't do it on here. Okay, so let's do it on this other one. Moz domain checker. Okay. Link Explorer. Okay, let's put it there. Okay, and let's search for this. Again. All right, but nonetheless, it doesn't want to do it. Can I do Ahrefs? Ahrefs. Bank click checker. Let's try that one. Okay, let's enter the URL and search for it. I'm not a robot. There you go. Now, I have searched News 24 website, right? News 24 has a domain rating or domain authority score. It's not the same thing, but it's similar. It's just two different companies. This one calls it DA, that one calls it DR, and they're using different measures to whatever, but it doesn't matter. This News 24 website has a rating of 84. This is pretty good. So if News 24 had an article and they referred your website and said, you know what, if you really want beautiful watches, check out Mughal Watches. And they put that article on their website. Google, looking at News 24's domain rating, it is a trusted website. It trusts its DR is very high. This is a very trusted website. If a very trusted website backlinks to your website, what that signals to Google is, hey, if this trusted website can refer Mughal Watches, that means Mughal Watches is a pretty awesome watch store. Let us ramp it up the Google search. You're going to get ramped up. If more high domain authority websites refer your website, the higher up the search rankings will be. You understand what I'm talking about? You understand the principle. Now, once you're here and you've done the 20% to get to the top, you've got to get high domain authority websites to link back to you, right? And how do you do that? You blog, you create nice blogs on your site that, somebody from News 24 maybe, or you guest blog on News 24, or you get other people to guest blog for you. I mean, there's definitely like paid services out there where you can pay SEO specialist companies to do this for you, and they can write nice blogs for you that get sort of link bait to these big companies to sort of link back to you. But this is a process, okay? This is a process that takes anything from 3 to 6 months to a year to move from like a brand new website to getting ranked on Google, even on the first page of Google, okay? It's not impossible, but it's not going to happen overnight. So when you get started the first time, maybe you'll start with, paid and social media, but do not neglect organic traffic. While you're doing your paid and social media, in the background, you've got to start working on these things. So in the background, go check your page speed, get your site indexed, get your own page right, start building some backlinks. You don't have to start with News 24 and a DR of 8. You can start with, there's lots of DR 40 domains that you can start there. Boom, boom, boom. Start building some links. Hire some SEO companies. Hire us. Let us build these links for you. Backlink. Boom, 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 boom. So that you're going to start moving slowly above them. Because ultimately, you want to end up here. Okay? Ultimately, you want to be here. You want to be on the first page of Google when somebody searches for watches. And once you've done it and you're on the first page of Google, you will always be there. Like clicks is here every time. You don't. Once you pay, the beautiful thing about SEO that I love is if you do it, it's done. It's not like this that with paid advertising, you gotta pay for it every day. Every day you gotta pay for it. If you stop paying today, these companies that are here, they stop paying today, they're not gonna be here tomorrow. It's a daily payment. So if you're paying 2,000 rands a month for Google advertising, maybe if you're paying 5,000 rands a month, maybe take 1.5 out, start building SEO slowly, right? Pay SEO specialists to do this for you, slowly building your SEO so that eventually you can say, Google, go away. I'm now here organically. And once you're here organically, it's done. It's paid for. So I want to leave you with this quote before, as I close out this video. If traffic to your website was the golden egg, that's what you want for any website. You want people to come to your website. If people visiting your website was a golden egg, and you were always looking for these golden eggs because that's your treasure, right? Good SEO would be the golden goose that lays the golden eggs. Okay? Paid traffic would be you every day going to pay for that golden egg. Okay? Social media would be you cooking your golden egg in the kitchen. All right? But organic traffic would be like you cultivating a golden goose. Once you cultivate it, you take care of it, you feed it, you grow it from a little golden goose until it's a nice big golden goose. You fed it, it's nice and fat. It will lay golden eggs for you forever, okay? That is what good SEO is. It is the golden goose that lays the golden eggs. Thank you guys very much for watching.